Hello, welcome to the newspaper review here on Top TV. My name is Williams Abule, and with me here on the program is the beautiful, delectable screen goddess, Miss Natasha Brown.
Thank you, Bolan.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure having you
Same
on
here.
the newspaper review. And together we're going to be analyzing the headlines. I'll be reading to you shortly here on the program. So if this is the first time you're seeing this video, sit back and relax because you are in the right place and at the right time because we'll be bringing you the headlines across newspapers in a very short while. You can also be a part of this by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section. We'd love to hear what you think about these headlines. All right, we'll begin the headlines for today, the 28th day in the month of September, from Vanguard newspaper. And on Vanguard newspaper here, it says mixed outlook for parties as campaigns begin today. APC postpones campaign kickoff indefinitely. PDP to inaugurate campaign cancelled today. I'm stepping stone for Igbo presidency. Atiku tells Southeast leaders in Enugu. Labour Party declares readiness for campaigns. Mom on campaign cancel. Right, all of that you find the details on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. Also on the Vanguard newspaper here, you see this very, elaborate and beautiful, should I call it a poster of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the Delta State Governor, who is his running mate, that is Atiku's running mate, VP Okowa. And that marks the beginning of the campaigns for the PDP. They are all out and ready for these campaigns. Natasha, what do you think about this? And the election campaigns have started, and that has also set the pace and the calendar, the time frame for between now and the election period. And we can see that the PEP has already kicked off. What's your reaction to all of that?
Well, I'm excited that finally it's here.
Yeah.
The long anticipated campaign season is here.
Yeah.
So we wait.
Yes, we wait.
We wait to hear what they would say. I hope this time around they are sensible enough not to tell us, oh, we will give you roads, we will give you food to secondary schools, for education. Anybody who says stuff like that, I'm not advocating for violence, but, throw some rocks or something. Because now every Nigerian should be awake enough to hearing what these people really have in store for us or what they profess to have in store for us come 2023. So I'm excited that the season is upon us. And I'm already beginning to see slogans here and there. I'm seeing for growing economy. I'm seeing that for a better tomorrow starts today. I'm like, okay, it's beginning to roll out. But honestly, it's a good one that it has started. For the PDP, Atiku and Okowa, I'm hoping that good comes out, from their end, and likewise, all other parties at the same time. But I don't know how it's going to work well for them with the whole PDP crisis. Even APC has crisis now.
Yes,
with the whole campaign council and all of that. But their party crisis are not my point. My issue is I need to hear what your manifesto is. I need to know what your plans are for Nigerians. I mean, Japan needs to come to a halt.
Yeah.
So we need to hear those things, and we need to see your passion come through what you say. It's not you just merely reading a script, rating for you. So at the end of the day, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, same here. I feel really excited because whether we like it or not, the elections are upon us. And
closer than we can.
Very close. And just like you rightly said, this elections campaign should be issue-based this time. And I hope that the most political parties that are going to be campaigning, they already understand that Nigerians are really more enlightened now more than ever, and they want to hear issue-based campaigns. Gone are the days where we have people come out and say, okay, PDP, your legs are K-leg, so don't vote K-leg. PDP, Mr. Atiku did this and this in Dubai. That's not what we want. What are your plans for Nigerians? What are your plans to remove us or to bring us out? What are the procedures you have in mind to remove us from, this economic downtime that we're having, all the power issues, insecurity, and all of that? So this time around, I think the whole election has taken a different course, and we believe that I want to see these politicians also take a new course in the way they do things, and that's why we're calling that Nigerians should put their ears and their eyes on the ground at this point in time and make the best choice, because we're going to see a different kind of campaign. And I'm hoping that, yes, they live up to expectations and give us something that will really trick our minds to say, okay, I'm a bit confused of who to vote for this time.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm looking at seeing. And the frightening part is, with the state of the country now, the next person to come in for the top one office of the country will have to do a miracle. Because
so true.
the country is in such a dire position at this point in time that almost every Nigerian is wondering which way. So if we are going to if we're going to give you the job that you are applying for, you better deliver on it, or else I hope that Nigerians, we have come to realize that we are the employers right now. So by the time we measure you for an amount of time and nothing is happening, we'll bring you back from.
There will certainly be a change.
There has to be one.
You know, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people have thrown their weight behind the Labour Party, saying that, okay, if they succeed, you know, it will bring a new leaf or a phase in our Nigerian politics where the message has been strongly passed across the political class that when you perform, we'll let you be. When you don't perform, we'll take you out of that office.
No more business as usual.
No, it's no longer going to be the same thing again. Even now, you know, that message, I'm sure it's already getting to them, but it will be stamped forever if, you know, if the Labour Party makes it to
I mean, see what's already happening with the APC. I think Buhari already called for what's his name? Is it Fani Kayode?
Yeah, okay.
You know, to be pulled out. Is it Fani Kayode or I keep mixing up their names. But basically the spokesperson for the APC, you know, saying that he's not doing well for the party, he's not doing well for their campaign, and he's not speaking up for them.
I don't think it's about
he should be taken back.
It's not about the director or so. It is about the candidate they have. And that is not for me to tell them. They should know. I mean, this time around, like we said, younger people are the ones that are coming out to want to vote. I mean, they know what they want. They know the pain they are going through at the moment. So, I mean, it's not about the campaign director or whatsoever. All right, we're going to move on to our next paper for today, the 28th day in the month of September, and that will be the Nation's newspaper. And on the Nation's here, as the headline from the top, it says, suspended Ogun governor's aide Rufai jailed 5 years. Suspended Ogun governor's aide Rufai jailed 5 years. You find that detail on page 2 of the Nation's newspaper. We also see here on the Nation's, it says, Atiku, I'll be stepping stone for Igbo president. I'll be stepping stone for Igbo president. If you need to know what that means, pick up a copy of the Nation's and go to page 5 of that paper. That's where you find the details. And other headlines here, it says, presidency to Akeredolu, no state can arm security outfits. No state can arm security outfit. Cautions against politicization of security. And as a major headline here, it says, Nigerians face harder times as CBN raises interest rates. Emefiele hike from 14% to 15.5% to contain rising inflation. Experts fault policy. All right, that's all the headline for the Nation's newspaper. And so, Natasha, I want to bring this up. It says, President Akeredolu, no state can arm security outfits. What do you think about that story?
Well, I think honestly, with the whole insecurity going on, thank you very much, and we already know that it almost seems like the federal government and the federal security, they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
The other time we heard about the statistics of the number of police officers we had in the nation, and it's not enough, over 300,000 thereabout. So it's not enough. So there definitely, we know that there's the need for states to have their own security. But when it comes to arming them, is where should we draw the line there? Because it's on one hand, these people need to be armed to do their securing work. because most of the time the people that they're up against are armed.
Oh yeah,
Right? They
yeah.
cannot go with their bare arms and do whatnot. So I'm a bit caught in between, but I would rather that there is an avenue where the federal government creates like a supervisory body that can be able to look into that and say, okay, we will give you a certain type of arm, and if you do not do well with it, then we can retract it. We can retract such policy. But to say that they should not be armed at all, I don't think that is fair, because it's almost like I'm going into a boxing ring, or I'm going into a gunfight with just my boxing gloves.
Yeah.
I'm not well equipped for it. But also, I'm looking at the time frame as well. The fact that elections are around the corner, and then you want to arm the certain individuals. I mean, we are also hoping that those kind of persons will not be used, for political thuggery and all of that. So I see where the federal government is coming from, about not wanting to arm any and every kind of person, but at the same time, we know that it's also a needed activity, or should I say a needed tactic, whereby these people need to be armed one way or the other. Because it's almost like, okay, so with the headsman, you come into my farm, and then you're with the AK-47s and all of that, and what do I have to fight you with?
Cutlass.
So it's dicey, but I hope that they look into it, because it's needed. It's needed.
Ondo State has been really recently has been really under attack in terms of headsmen, and then ISWAP claiming responsibility for the attacks in Owo Church. And for me, because of the prevailing security challenges that we've been having, or of the times in terms of security that we're having, it makes some sense that they should be armed to a certain level, yes, to a certain degree, because if they say, okay, don't carry AK-47 because that's an automatic weapon, yes, that can do more damage than a pump action gun or whatsoever. I think that is the part that I understand, because like you rightly said, 2 elections are by the corner, and so we don't know whether this is actually for
security, or it's for securing yourself and your position and your party.
Where they will use these arms to dance to the tunes of their paymasters. So all of that is just the reason why I would say that, okay, it's not a bad thing for the federal government to caution the Ondo State governor and say, okay, guy, I don't think we're going to let you go through with this plan. Earlier, remember, Zamfara State governor had also asked residents living in Zamfara State to arm themselves to protect, their own self and their families. And federal government responded saying that we're not going to let you do that, because in doing so, there will be a lot of proliferation of arms, and they are trying to deal with that. Talk more of the fact that we're getting closer to the elections, and people are going to use these things to want to threaten and then cause more mayhem in an election that we are hoping that will be violence-free, so that Nigerians can decide, the rest of our lives. Because it has come to that point where it feels as if,
our lives are on the thread. We're fighting for our lives right now.
I'm telling you, if we don't get it right this time,
it's never going to be right.
We're getting to that point where we want to do everything to avoid, an outblown kind of violence, and we don't want that. Even though in doing so, we know that there are some people out there, some politicians that would wish that we get to that point where everything will, just go haywire, so that they can achieve their selfish gains. But we know, we're praying that, yes, God will also continue to use, our government and to cop things like this. So for me, that's where I would say, okay, yes, the Ondo State governor should hold on. We understand the challenges that his state, and not just his state, Imo State here has been on fire for long.
Oh, yes.
And that fire has been on. We've not heard them say, okay, Ebuboyago, all right, I want to arm you guys with automatic rifles and all of that. And we know the accusations that have been thrown at Ebuboyago for committing some, illegal attacks and raids leading to the deaths of some other people. So all of those things is what the federal government is looking at and saying, okay, guy, just hold on. We're still reviewing the situation. And we also understand from his side that he's getting impatient. After the massacre, who really get impatient? Yes. I mean, it was really very, very terrible sight, and people are yet to recover from all of that. And so we're going to move on to our last paper for today, and that will be the Daily Champion. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll jump right into the headlines on the Daily Champions. You stay tuned. Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
All right, welcome back from that break, that very short break. We are back with the newspaper headlines here on the newspaper review on TAP TV. Do well to also drop your comments and your reactions here, and also stay connected to us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook as TAP TV, on Instagram is TAP TV _NG, and on Twitter is at TAP TV. So connect with us on all of these platforms. So let's go back to the headlines. And before we went on the break, we were on the Daily Champions. And on the Daily Champions here at the top part, it says, 2023, Adebanjo Clark orders commended for supporting Igbo presidency as INEC urges candidates to shun vulgar language. I wish that would even work, where our politicians will respect themselves enough to not use such vulgar language and face the issues on ground.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to see that for once we have a different kind of electioneering campaign. All right, we move on to other headlines here. It says, Ndlea sets ablaze 1.8 tons of cocaine as Mara promises drug cartels tough time. We also see here CBN raises monetary policy rates to 15.5%. You find that details on page 13 of the Daily Champion. And that's the major headline here on the Daily Champions. We see, will devolved powers for the creations of state police end fuel subsidy article. Will devolve powers for the creation of state police and fuel subsidy. Nigeria needs restructuring to survive. End of security challenges in sight. Tambuwal. Think out of the box, says Masari. All of that detail is on page 6 of the Daily Champions newspaper. Also here on the Daily Champions, we say Senate seeks removal of financial independence of CBN governor. Electoral offenses bill to be passed before general poll, says Senate panel. Screens 19 Rex nominees. You'll find that story on page 7 of the Daily Champion. And lastly, I'll take this one. It says, anxiety as APC postpones campaign, flag off indefinitely. All right, that is all the headline we'll be taking from the Daily Champion newspaper. So do well to pick up a copy for yourself. Okay, so I'd like us to react to the story of Ndlea setting ablaze 1.8 tons of cocaine as Mara promises drug cartels very tough time. You know, Colonel Mara has been on this on the heels of the drug
peddlers
for some time now, and I must commend that. For me, this has been the most intense war against drug peddling in Nigeria. I've never seen, you know, any drug Ndlea director go after these guys the way he has been doing, and he has achieved a lot within the very short space of time that he was appointed as the boss there. And just recently, they were able to break into a kind of like a gang, a cartel that was able to bring in over 1.8 tons of cocaine in Lagos State, and it was made public. And just yesterday, they destroyed those drugs, and I think it's a good one for Nigeria. So I'd like you to react to that story.
Well, it's a good one for Nigeria, but you know, the thing is, Nigerians, we have become like really so skeptical, you know, because a lot of the time it seems like what these people do, what these agencies do is just showcase. Let it look like we're working, but we're not really doing much. Okay, so first of all, going from the videos, you know, they took off, you know, busting into the compound, seeing some people there, taking them, and also getting a hold of all of this consignment. And all of a sudden, fast forward to a few days later, it's all burnt up. And the only thing you're showing us is a video of something burning. And so it created a lot of skepticism, with Nigerians, because we're like, that's evidence. You haven't caught the main person behind funding such. So you just burn up evidence like
And
that?
these guys are not in court yet. I mean, so.
Yeah, so Nigerians, if you check Twitter, if you checked, online media, people went on and on about it. Like they don't believe that anything really happened, that this is just them trying to save face to make it look like they're doing a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it's still what is called I'm just being skeptical, assumptions. But judging from what we have seen, whether it is true or not, judging from what we have seen them show to us, it is a good one. And the pertinent question comes up: which people are absorbing these drugs in the country? Because cocaine is expensive.
It is expensive, but then it will
So
shock you.
it is funny that, and then people are asking the question: what is our border security like?
Highly compromised.
How was this able to come in and nobody could be able to apprehend it at the borders? It came in, drove in safely into Ikorodu, that populated space.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Detected.
checked or gotten note of. So a lot of Nigerians asked a lot of questions.
It's
So,
a thing of concern.
At the end of the day, I applaud him for what he has done, and I hope that he does more of stuff like this. But I want more to be done. Our border patrol officers, immigration people, they need to step up. They need to do more. It's at the end of the day, this has happened. We hope that more of such cartels will be busted. We know that there's a whole drug abuse pandemic going on in the world at this point in time, and the youth are the primary target.
Well, I mean,
So-
when you ask who are the people using these drugs, it will shock you the number of young people that are drug users these days.
So it's scary.
When I
It is a
interact
scary
with
thing.
them, you see somebody that you thought was normal, and you're talking to the person, and you could see that this one is gone or she's gone. And these are between the ages of roughly about 13 to 25. Young
It's
people of
scary.
that age, and they're already using drugs. And it just explains how they look at you in the morning, eyeball to eyeball, and somebody's addressing you as "hey," and then walking up to you, want to ask you a question, and you see the tone to which they're talking to you, like as if you're not even there. They are not seeing you, you're not standing there. So there are a lot of young people that are using drugs these days, and it has become more accessible. And that explains how or why the Ndlea has, gone AWire on these guys. And this time they are really getting a lot of results. So I must really commend them. It's a good one. But then in terms of whether they were burning the evidence up or what, that's what I don't really understand. But as time goes on, we hope to see these culprits, in court and being prosecuted for their
We
crimes.
hope it just doesn't end at them burning up.
That's
the-
what I'm
the
saying. We
evidence.
need to see them, just as they have shown us that, oh yeah, we caught these guys. I mean, we bunch up their stuff. We also need to see that they are tried and of course jailed for or sentenced to jail.
Nigerians are so unbelieving to the extent that even the people that they put up as culprits, they said no, those people don't look like they can be able to protect drugs and
whatever
so
they're
it's
trying to
funny.
do, time will tell us. All right, the headline where article is saying that will devolve powers for the creation of state police and end fuel subsidies. I mean, that's part of his campaigns, plans for Nigerians. Even though the state police matter has been in discussion for
It has been
forever,
ongoing,
and from looking at it, you see that it will do Nigerians a lot of good in our security architecture if the state police laws are passed, and then if we start the state police, you find out that in dealing with most of these issues security-wise that we have, it will be easier, So I'd like you to, throw more light or shed more light on it.
No, I think I'm for that. I think if that's part of his plan, I'm for it. I think I
I
take it
think it
good.
will be a
I
plan
take it
of
good.
all of them. Yes, because it's been in discussion
Yeah.
like forever, and we all understand the fact that state policing is like it's another community policing is like another word for it, where I am the policeman. I know you. I know the guy behind the camera. I know everybody around me. So when something goes wrong,
You
I
can be
know where
able
to
to
go
trace,
to. I know
yes.
every nook and cranny of my community. It's not like they brought somebody from Borno State to come and work here. So he needs to take another 1 year to study, River State to know where is where before he can go and say, okay, this is the area where the bad guys usually gather. But in state policing, it'll be easy because if a strange face comes to the community,
You
the
know, you
police
can be
will know
able
who
to
this
spot.
person is.
Yeah.
So they know. I'm sure this has worked very effectively in other climes like the United States and the UK and all of that. So bringing it down to Nigeria here, I think it will really help us at a time like this where our security architecture has really collapsed. It will really build confidence in people. So I think it's not a bad thing. And for Atiku coming up to make it look like it's part of his security, it's part of his electioneering plans for
Yeah.
Nigerians. It's not a bad thing though. It's a good thing for him to adopt it and probably be the one if he wins, if he makes it
To pioneer it, yeah.
Yeah, to pioneer it. So for any government that is coming next, this is one of the issues that I think
That should
they
be really looked
put out
into.
there,
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to even help ease the burden,
Of course.
on the federal police force.
Yes,
It's going
yeah.
to help ease the burden. So I'm for that. I think it's important because right now insecurity is the number one thing that has to be curbed in the country. So if there are measures that can be able to enforce that and make us feel more secure, I
Yeah.
mean, why not? And
Yeah.
state policing is a way to go.
I
It's
totally
a way
agree.
to
I
go.
totally agree.
As long as it's not turned into the governor's primary security and where he can use it
Yeah,
the way he
but then
wants
you
to.
know that
you
in
know.
the whole discussion, there's a part where the federal police will act as a regulatory body. It's not like they're scrapping the federal police force.
Yeah.
It's going to be there, but then it will act like a regulatory body to the state police, where the state police handles their own affairs in securing each state, but the federal police is still very active and can also come in when needed. But the federal police will do less work or do more at the federal level
Yeah.
and around the country than the state. The state will now be in charge of securing their state. More like it will edge out the vigilante groups, such as the one that is being cautioned at Ondo State, where they're
Amotako.
saying, okay, don't arm them. But then this is going to now come in and say, okay, this is our territory. We know the same people can really be easily integrated
into the yes,
state police. So
definitely,
we're hoping that
definitely.
this sees the light of day in due time. So that's what we hope for. Well, that's all the headlines we'll be taking today. Natasha, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much, Abule.
making it on the program, and to our viewers, you guys are the MVPs. Thank you so much for staying with us up to this time on the Newspaper Review. Do well to join us again on another episode of the Newspaper Review here on TAP TV, and we'll be glad to have you on the program. Till next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the Newspaper Review on TAP TV. See you next time.